There is a very particular kind of pain that doesn't show up in simple quotes. It's not, "They don't care, move on." It's not, "They're using you, block them." Your situation is more complicated because you can feel it, the softness in their eyes when they forget to guard themselves, the way their energy shifts when you pull back, the tiny pauses, the almost confessions, the things they say when they're tired and their defenses slip. This person is not indifferent. They are not empty. They are in love, and yet they fight it. They distance themselves for no clear reason. They say one thing and live another. They downplay what you have, then act possessive when you step away. They deny, minimize, rationalize, while their whole body betrays them. It leaves you stuck in a strange emotional limbo. You're not crazy. You know there's something real here. But you're exhausted from trying to carry a love they won't admit they feel. If someone's face comes to mind as you're reading this, the one you know feels something deep but keeps running from it, take a breath. If that's you, type the word "torn" in the comments. You don't have to explain. That one word is just you quietly saying, "I see what's happening. They're torn, and it's tearing me a little too." From my side, long Jung-inspired reflections like this take a lot of time, care, and emotional energy to craft for you. If you ever feel like quietly supporting this work, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. It's never an obligation, but every bit genuinely helps me keep creating deep, thoughtful content for hearts in situations like yours. You'll also find a playlist in the description filled with videos like this, about complicated connections, old souls, shadow work, and the deep confusion of modern love. If this message resonates, save that playlist. You can even let it play softly when you're about to sleep, so your body rests while your subconscious keeps listening. Now, let's look at this through a Jungian lens. Because they love you, but they're fighting their feelings, is not just a romantic drama, it's a psychological process. 1. You're not imagining it. Mixed signals. Have a real source. One of the hardest parts of this dynamic is feeling like you're losing your mind, because you see both sides. The side that pulls you closer, shares vulnerable things, remembers details, looks at you like you're the only one in the room, and the side that retreats, trivializes, acts nonchalant, says it's not that deep, or disappears when things get too real. You keep asking yourself, am I reading too much into this? Am I projecting? Is this just in my head? From a Jungian perspective, what you're seeing is not simple, mixed signals. You're seeing a conflict inside their psyche. One part of them is drawn to you, deeply, instinctively, emotionally. Another part is terrified of what that love would demand. Jung called these clashing forces complexes, clusters of feeling, memory, and belief that take on a life of their own inside us. This person likely carries a love complex that pulls them toward closeness, and an avoidance or fear complex that pushes them away when closeness becomes too real. So no, you're not crazy for sensing their feelings. You're simply standing in the crossfire between two parts of them that have never learned how to live in the same room. 2. Why they fight their feelings. Love awakens their shadow. It's tempting to think, if they love me, wouldn't that make everything easier? Jung would say, not always. Love doesn't just awaken the light in a person, it also awakens their shadow, everything they've repressed, denied, or refused to look at. Being truly seen by you might trigger old childhood wounds. I'm not enough. Everyone leaves eventually. Deep fears of rejection. If you see the real me, you'll go. Buried shame. I don't deserve someone like you. A terror of vulnerability. If I open up, I lose control. So yes, they feel tenderness, attraction, even a sense of this means something. But they also feel exposed. You might notice they get edgy or distant right after a very intimate moment. Pick a small fight after a really close conversation. Make jokes when the energy gets too serious. Go quiet or withdraw when you ask deeper questions. They are fighting their feelings because their feelings threaten their defenses. Jung would say the ego, the part that wants control, safety, predictability, sees your connection as both a gift and a threat. Gift: it offers deep connection. Threat: it might dismantle the story they've lived inside. I don't need anyone. I'm safer if I stay detached. No one ever really stays, so why risk it? Their love for you is real, but so is their loyalty to their defenses. Right now, the defenses might still be winning. 3. Animus. Why you feel this is more than just a crush. For many people, this isn't just a normal attraction. It feels fated, charged, different. Jung would likely link this to the animus, the inner opposite energy in each of us, inner feminine in men, inner masculine in women, or more broadly, our inner counterpart. Sometimes another person becomes the carrier of this inner figure. What does that do? It amplifies everything. You don't just like them, they feel like a doorway into a deeper version of yourself. You don't just find them attractive, you feel spiritually or psychologically pulled toward them. Their presence activates your dreams, imagination, creativity, or anxiety in unusual ways. For them, you may have become the person who represents a safer, deeper love than they've ever known, the mirror in which they see their own unlived potential, the one who calls them out of the shallow, numb way they've been relating. That's intoxicating and terrifying. When someone carries your animus projection, you are drawn to them almost beyond logic, but also overwhelmed by what they stir in you. So they might idealize you in secret while pretending you're just a friend. Compare others to you and find them lacking. Feel both deeply drawn to you and compulsively run from you. Their fighting is often not against you as a person, but against what you represent in their psychological landscape, a threshold, a crossing into deeper intimacy, deeper truth, deeper self-knowledge. And not everyone is ready to walk through that door. 4. How their love leaks through, even when they deny it. Despite their attempts to fight their feelings, love always leaks. It slips past their rationalizations, past their "I'm fine," past their carefully constructed distance. You can usually see it in small, specific ways. Their eyes soften when you're vulnerable. Even if they say little, something in their face changes. They remember things you thought they'd forgotten, tiny details about your family, fears, favorites, or worries. They show up in quiet emergencies. When you really need something, they somehow find a way, even if they're inconsistent in daily life. They react strongly when you pull away. Not always with words, but with a spike of attention, jealousy, or random check-ins. They struggle to sever the connection completely. Breaks don't stay clean. Goodbyes turn into, "How are you?" months later. They may verbally dismiss what you share. "You're overthinking." "It's not like that. I'm just busy." But their unconscious behavior tells a different story. Jung would say, when the ego is in denial, watch the unconscious. Habits, slips, timing, body language, dreams, synchronicities. You are picking up on that level. No, it's not proof you should wait forever, but it is proof you're not imagining that there's more here than they admit. 5. What this dynamic is doing to you. Let's turn toward you for a moment, because living in this kind of half-light has a cost. Psychologically, it often leads to chronic self-doubt. Am I crazy? Am I reading too much into things? Addictive thinking, replaying conversations, scanning every chat for hidden clues. Emotional hypervigilance, constantly tracking their moods, texts, reactions, anxious attachment spirals, feeling calm only when they're close, panicked when they withdraw. Self-blame, assuming if you were better, prettier, calmer, less intense, they'd finally choose you. Jung would say your own complexes are getting stirred here too. Your abandonment wounds, your fear of not being chosen, your old belief that love must be painful to be real. It's not just them fighting their feelings. You may be fighting your own deeper truth, that this connection, however meaningful, is hurting you in its current form. You might be telling yourself, if I'm more patient, if I communicate perfectly, if I prove how safe I am, they'll stop fighting and finally surrender to what this is. That's a heavy, exhausting role, being the emotional midwife to someone else's love, and it slowly pulls you away from your own center. You start orbiting their process instead of living your own life. 6. Why you can't love them into readiness. Here's the hardest part to swallow. Your love may be one of the best things that has ever happened to them. It may be the most honest, steady, soulful connection they've known, but you cannot love them into being ready. Why? Because what they're fighting is not you. It's their unhealed history. The way they watched relationships play out when they were young. The messages they absorbed about trust, safety, commitment. The traumas they've never processed. The ideals they carry about freedom, independence, power. Love can expose those wounds. Love can invite healing. But love cannot force someone to accept that invitation. Jung would say each psyche has its own timing. If they are still more loyal to their defenses than to their own heart, no amount of your patience will rearrange that equation. You can be kind, clear, grounded, communicate your feelings honestly, show that you are safe, not chaotic, hold space to a point. But you cannot do their shadow work for them. Make them ready by suffering long enough. Control when or if they choose to face their fears. That is not a failure on your part. It is a boundary of reality. 7. The line between human fear and emotional manipulation. Let's be honest. Not everyone who fights their feelings is harmless. Some people enjoy the attention and emotional intimacy, but never intend to take responsibility for what they're creating. Use their confusion as a shield to avoid accountability, keep you emotionally hooked with just enough crumbs while living freely elsewhere. Jungian compassion doesn't mean naivete. It's important to discern human fear. They're genuinely overwhelmed, self-aware at least sometimes, and conflictingly honest about their struggle. They show signs of growth, however small. Manipulation, immaturity. They consistently dodge responsibility, blame you for your reactions, and make you feel guilty for needing clarity. Questions to ask yourself. When I express my needs, do they ever respond with humility and effort, or always defensiveness and excuses? Over time, is this connection helping me grow, or slowly eroding my self-esteem? Do I feel more like a partner on a journey, or like a secret emotional backup plan? It's one thing for someone to be scared and working on it. It's another for them to use "I'm scared" as a permanent hall pass to avoid adult love. Mature Jungian love means holding both truths. Yes, their wounds are real, and yes, you are allowed to protect your heart from the impact of those wounds. 8. How to stay in your power while they battle theirs. So what can you actually do in a situation like this, besides just hurt? A few core principles. 1. Believe what their actions over time tell you, not the late-night confessions, not the one-day maybe speeches, patterns. Do they show up consistently, take responsibility when they hurt you, move even slightly in the direction of more courage, more honesty? If not, then for now, their defenses are stronger than their love. 2. Stop arguing with their fear. You cannot logic someone out of a fear that wasn't created by logic. Instead of endlessly reassuring, try something like, I hear that you're scared. I can't fix that fear for you. I care about you deeply, but I can't keep relating in a way that hurts me. If you decide you're ready to explore this properly, you know where to find me. Until then, I need to step back for my own sanity. That's not manipulation. It's clarity. 3. Recenter on your own life. This connection may feel like the main movie in your mind. Gently remind yourself, you still have your work, your gifts, your friendships, your body, your spiritual path. Your life is not a waiting room for their breakthrough. Pour some of the energy you've been using to decode them back into yourself. Move your body, create something, learn something, spend time with people who are emotionally available, even if it's not romantic. You're not abandoning them, you're refusing to abandon yourself. 9. Let this wake you up. Sometimes we focus so much on their struggle that we miss the mirror being held up to us. This kind of love often reveals how much ambiguity you're willing to tolerate, how often you override your own intuition, how quickly you go into fixing, explaining, justifying, how you equate intensity with fate and confusion with depth. Jung would ask you, what is this experience trying to teach you about your own shadow, your own attachment, your own patterns in love? Maybe it's teaching you to stop begging to be chosen, to stop auditioning for roles in someone's life they're not even ready to cast, to stop mistaking emotional chaos for soul connection, to finally believe that your heart deserves clarity, not just chemistry. If this video is resonating and you're still here with me, take a second to like it and subscribe if you haven't yet. Tap the notification bell so you don't lose this little corner of the internet that takes your psyche seriously when most advice just yells, move on, without understanding the complexity. Your engagement really does help keep this channel alive. 10. Before you sleep tonight, you may be lying in bed tonight with this person on your mind, wondering if they're thinking of you too, wondering if they'll ever stop fighting what's between you, wondering if you're foolish for still feeling something. Here's what I want you to take with you. You are not insane for sensing their love. You are not pathetic for wanting them to admit it. You are not weak for staying as long as you have. And also, you are not obligated to keep hurting in order to prove your love. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep someone else safe from their own feelings. You are allowed to step back from a love that's real but not healthy in its current form. You can hold both truths. They are in love and they are not ready. And then ask the braver question, am I ready to live my life in a way that honors my own heart, whether or not they ever catch up to theirs? If this touched you and you haven't yet, you can type torn in the comments. Not as a label for the rest of your life, but as a snapshot of where you are right now, in between your love for them and your love for yourself. In the description, you'll find that playlist I mentioned earlier, a sequence of Jungian, soul-level reflections just like this one, on complicated love, old souls, emotional boundaries, and spiritual psychological growth. When you're about to sleep tonight, instead of spiraling through every message they sent and didn't send, open that playlist, hit play, and let it run softly as you drift off. Your body will rest, but your subconscious will keep listening, slowly absorbing the idea that you are not only valuable when someone finally stops fighting their feelings for you, you are already worthy of a love that meets you in the open, not just in the shadows. You can honor this connection as meaningful without sacrificing your own mental and emotional health to keep it alive. If you ever feel like quietly supporting the time, focus, and heart it takes to create these long-form teachings, there's a small Buy Me a Coffee link waiting in the description. It's never expected, but always deeply appreciated. Wherever you are right now, in your room, in your car, out walking with your headphones, remember, yes, this person may be in love and fighting their feelings, but the most important battle is not whether they surrender to their love for you. It's whether you surrender to the truth of your own worth and stop fighting the part of you that already knows you deserve a love that doesn't have to hide.